be finishing up these stickers today. Let's see. Yeah, save. Right. Just grabbing a few references. Gonna see if I can. I don't really know what that does. It happens sometimes when I hit Control V. I guess that's a good thing. Technically, it's the last day of Pride Month, so yay. Hopefully, everyone was able to go out and celebrate. Even though technically, I still think they have a few more events coming out. Alright, let's see. That should be good. So I do want to continue. We have first three, or the first two, with Wonder. I kind of like this second one, so I'm going to be focusing a little bit on just kind of building it up, similar to this one, the whole chibi look and everything. I do have to figure out a good pose. That seemed to be the hard part, but we'll see. I do like his jacket a lot. Maybe I should have given him a gun. I think he has another sticker, or not another sticker, another weapon. I don't know why I said sticker. Another weapon in the game. I just don't know if I can find a picture of it. Like that sword, knife kind of thing. There we go, I think I found it. There we go. You can kind of make the weapon large with the hand being kind of large. I don't want to go too big. I don't want to look like Chucky. similar to, not really, kind of similar. Okay, I don't hate that one. Kind of put it to the side. We have to figure out a lot of the angles and everything, but I don't really hate the general pose. Although I just kind of feel like it's a little too similar to the last one. So I might just change that part. Just because I don't want them all in the same pose. Yeah. Is that too... Let's see if I come up with anything more visually appealing. I don't hate this one. And while it's similar, I think it's just different enough. Okay. Okay, the more I'm working on it, the more I'm liking it. Let's see. We'll kind of go in like that. Really like that vest. Okay, it's definitely one pose. Gotta test out another one real fast before I commit to this one. Why do I feel like he looks like Chucky? I feel like with the big head and the big old knife. Just testing out different poses, seeing which one kind of resonates. I should probably figure out the hands first. All right, let me start over. This should make him kind of smiling. The other one's going to be all smiling. Okay, that one's not bad. Have the knife kind of like it's coming towards you. Okay. So again, I just worry. Let me just put them side by side. Okay. Merge. Let me hide that one. Let's see how indecisive I can be. So, I don't hate the side by side one. So what if I do him facing the other way? I'll have to fix the cheek a little bit, but okay. I'm deciding between A or B. They're fairly similar. I think for it to read more like the Joker, I think I'm gonna go with A. It reads more like him, and even though the poses are similar, that actually might help because then they kind of look, you know, a little bit more together with their design. And I can always use this one for later. So, start working on this one. I'll kind of keep these at the side. They're little design reminders. last time I skipped it, but I'm going to work on it this one. It's kind of a up close layer. I don't even know if you can see his ear past the point, but good for this. Interesting. I was going to fit the eyes inside there, but that kind of takes the place of it. And this kind of leans forward. It'll be like that. He's looking evil. Gotta work on that a bit. Round out some of the shapes. These little notches. This hair does go down pretty far, I think. And then do the kind of chibi thing where their hands get all big. Kind of place everything there. There is that cloak he has. Jacket. Okay. It's coming along. I definitely have to fix the eyes a bit. I don't think those are all lined up just yet. Okay, this goes like that. Okay, so these like bulge out. There we go. All right. And then the weapon will kind of go above. I'm a little worried about the hair, but I don't mind kind of taking my time when I get there to make sure I got it right. Looks like it goes out. Another place. There we go. It's like that. Let me turn these the other way and see if that'll help me with the hair facing that direction. Okay, yeah, it's a little bit more round. Okay. I'm gonna try to match up the eyes a little bit more. I think if I make him more round too, he won't seem. I think it says angry. I'm just trying not to make him look all pissed. Alright. Do something like that. It does kind of point out at the end. So I want to get those points to be pretty similar. It was a little lower. Okay. Looks like these go a little too far actually. So keep them big. Why do I feel like his eyes are like nightmare fuel? I don't know if it's because I just don't have the color in just yet. there's a good amount of it that's covered. Okay. Something about the eyes are not jiving at all. I actually don't know what ELO means. Let me start over. Too much about this part. It's gonna get covered up for the most. A lot of that stuff's gonna get covered up eventually. I'm gonna raise it up a little bit. Okay. I'm glad I started over. Things look a little better. Okay, then I'm gonna extend it out to get close to the center. So I know these all matching up. Okay, much better. Much, much, much better. He definitely looks a lot angrier than I want him to look. And I think it might be because of the mouth. Let me just give him a giganto smile and see how that works. What if I do like the same? Okay, that's looking a lot better. There we go. Alright. And I think I'm going to start inking it. Why is that on a different layer? Oh dang, okay, I did not realize. Oops. So now, I kind of skipped this the last time and it caused me problems. Nothing too bad, I still like how he came out. So on this one, although I might just kind of brighten that up a little bit. Although on this one though, I am going to, oh, I still need to add the flaps at the end. But I'm glad I kind of went through this extra phase. It should make inking it a whole lot easier. Once I get that done, I will add some color in. I'm going to kind of make it fairly bright. I kind of want to match up with these, like this kind of brighter looking one. Nothing too dark. Alright. Let's see. Let's see. Always have to remember to try to line or like label these ones early so I don't get stuck trying to like figure out what's what later on down the line. Sorry, getting some stuff finished on my end. Give me a moment. I feel like I just say that a lot, right? I just go, all right, all right. Just clicking around. And let's say all right again, but okay. So, got everything set up. Sorry for the little delay. Let's see. Start inking this one. Well, actually, let me throw in the cape for a bit. He has this little flap there. Don't really like that one. These two kind of make those out. We kind of have it go back here. You know what? I'm just gonna do the very not smart thing and save that for the end. Let's see. So unfortunately, I haven't really been able to play as much of this game as I want to. I'm still kind of in the very, actually kind of like opening levels. Nope, I did not. That's the wrong pen. Use this one. Okay. Ugh. Why does it always start like this? I always start where I can't get the angles right. Eventually it just kind of clicks. But I've seen people do those line exercises where they just kind of line, things like that. I might have to actually start doing that. Just so all my drawings don't start with me having to remember how to hold a pen. Alright. Finally, first side of it done. Oh, I get really invested in some of these lines. Let's see. I kind of didn't realize how many little curves they have on their outfits and things like that. It's a very distinct mask. Also, I can't get too crazy with the lines. I still need space for the black parts, and I don't want it to be so close up to the edge that the shapes kind of get lost within themselves. So let me kind of thin out some of these lower lines. I was going way too thick anyways. If the, yeah. There we go. Yeah, this one came out. I can't say I'm a gotcha game expert by any measure, but I've been stuck on Honkai. They have a new drop coming, or their first, or I think is it their first? I think it's their first face collab with Fate. So just because I try my best not to spend any money, been leveling up on those ones, trying to get as many of the free-to-play coins as possible. Although I'm pretty sure the drop rate's going to be absolutely terrible, just because they know people want Archer and Saber and all them. It doesn't look like there's any detail in the cuff. There might be that little line, but I don't see it in any of the other illustrations. Yeah. Okay. If I want to, I can go ahead and add that in later, but let me just add all the main detail. I can go in and add things like those little accents on the clothes later. Well, I still want it to read like his, you know, that perspective where his hand up. Oh, I didn't realize he had the cuffs until just now. Glad I checked that out. So the cuff, this will be the arm. A couple around, and it looks like they're pointed outwards. Yeah. Okay, something like that. Okay. All right. Panicked for nothing. Too much detail. No need to put those lines in. Not me thinking I'm doing a big old drawing. Are they like see-through? Why are they like see-through? This is like the professional art. Or is that supposed to be like reflective light? It makes it look kind of see-through. Not me judging Atlas and their artwork. sometimes make the hands a little long. So I was gonna double check because I don't want to make them. Oh wait, I kind of like that one though. Oh, let's see. This little curved line here. Let's see. Okay. Definitely looks like you can match up with these ones. There's the dots there. It's just dots. Looks like the buttons are here. too much detail here. See what it looks like with just the outlines, which I think, again, because they're smaller, should be fine. Alright, first hour done. Heels. Probably the biggest, pickiest part, I would say it. Like if I just don't get the curve just right, the mask is gonna look weird. At the same time, a lot of it's gonna get covered up. So, yeah. Okay, not mad at that. Do the hair, and then I think, actually, no, let me just jump to the eyes right now. No point in holding the eyes to the end, because it's going to be kind of the make or break. There we go. Okay, most of that's going to end up being black anyways. so slightly. Are they kind of a little bit more round? So I'm just kind of round this one out a little bit. There we go. Can make it a slight oval, but don't want it to be too oval of a shape. Still want to stay consistent with the main design. Those parts, but okay, should be good for the eyes for right now. Huh. That was relatively painless. Alright, where's this one going? I think this one should be a little bit more out. I'm gonna curve it like that. Alright, and now the hair. I think I'm going to put that in a different layer, just so I can kind of mess around with the lines and not have to worry about it messing this one up. Now let's see. So he usually has a few tendrils or a few stuff kind of poking out over here. So I do want to get a few of those. Get it bigger so I don't have to outline it again later. I'm kind of doing a mix of two things. I'm paying attention mostly to this one and this one here. So I can get the hair as close as possible. It's another one similar to the last guy, where at a certain point it's just going to be a lot of black, so I worry how much it's going to pop. Alright, that came out pretty good. I'm going to do a few of these little bangs and kind of reach over the mask. I don't want to overdo it, but let's see. I'm probably going to end up adding a few more, but I'll start with this for right now. And last but not least, that weapon. That should be good. Oops. Damn, why do I keep pressing the wrong button? Okay, for the sketch one, I like to do this with weapons to make sure I don't go all weird. His hand is kind of holding it this way, so it'll probably be something like this. Let's get that nice straight line. There we go. I didn't notice that just now. Might be me just being a little picky, but the hand is at a different angle than I want it to be. So let's see, if I put this on the sketch line, go all the way through, and you have a few points like so that are kind of curved. There we go. And then let me fix that hand so it curves a little bit more. There we go. I think that's a little better. Fix up some of these lines. Don't mind this one being a little larger, but I gotta watch out. I don't want it to be too thick of a line. Alright, it should be good. We got those 2 points. So much for me doing that on a separate layer. Oh well. It came out good, so I'm keeping it. Alright, let me move this a little closer. Oh my god, what else did I do on this layer? Okay, no, nothing. Okay. Alright, let me just crop out the weapon. Okay. And I'll go over this one. Something like that. Okay. Alright, that should be good. Now with that, first, let me get rid of the interior. I don't need those lines anymore. And I don't think I'm gonna... There we go. Alright. Again, with the same as the last sword, I don't want to detail it too much. I don't think it needs to be detailed too much, and I think that if I detail too much, it'll kind of look distracting, especially since it's kind of a smaller version of it. And it has, I'll do these at 5. These points. Okay. Again, I don't think those points will show, but let's just add them in. I'm not going to add them in later. And this one kind of comes here. Let me try to draw upside down. And then it has this little part that kind of bulbs out. So on this side, and go through. And there we go. Okay. So that's the main outline. There are a few little lines here or there that I'm gonna have to change out and cheat, but I think overall it's good. Let's see what happens when I add in. Okay, that's not bad. I wanted to do this eye's open a little bit more than this one. I hope he doesn't have jank eye though, but I think it's coming out good. I actually think I need to thicken these lines ever so slightly. So let me just go in Merge all these ones. Yeah, why not? Merge all these. And then I'm going to do my favorite part, the detailed lines. Just because I always got to overcomplicate it, and you know, why have one layer when you can have 20? Do it with the 15. I don't want to darken too much of it out, because same as Wonder's outfit, there's a lot of black and grays, and his design can get really lost in all those dark colors. Actually, let me go at 10. I can kind of put a variation. I do worry that I might go back in and just slightly brighten his outfit. I worry that he kind of got lost in that, just all the dark colors. And I think I might just make sure, actually let me see, if I kind of do this one, where it's just really, really gray for the most part on this side, I think he'll pop a lot more. Because I worry that I made him slightly too dark. And then when you go far away, I think that kind of answered my own question. What happens if I even go even brighter? Okay, maybe not that bright. But yeah. So I'll keep that in mind when I'm working on Joker. I don't want him to darken up so much that you can't see him. And same thing, I think just all of them. But let me not distract myself. Let me get back to inking. A little bit of shadow never hurt anybody. There we go. Okay, I don't think really a lot of black here would be bad. There we go. Worst comes to worst, I can make this all. I zoom in and zoom out too much when I think I know the answer to that question? Okay, I don't hate that being black. Some more outline on these. Alright. And yeah, I don't really have to outline the hair too much. Okay. Do I need to want to thicken it up a little? I think I am. I think I'm going to thicken up around this knife more as well. I'm going to add a little bit more variation around here. Okay, much better. I can actually outline this one a little bit thicker too. Alright. No detail, detail. No detail, detail. It's coming along. I think I had three. I think I had one, one, two, two, three, four, three, four, three, three, four. Can you even see those? It might be better for me to do less, but just larger ones. Let's see. And they're kind of pointed. So let's do one, two, three. I think that looks better, especially far away. this base here. Yeah, one day they're gonna make. I need to just go down that rabbit hole and find some paint bucket tool that actually fills up everything. Have two on the eyes. I think I have one. Good thing I sketched out two. Let's just do one in the center, which I think here is like around here. And this one will be here. Okay. And he has these really dark spots kind of around the eyes. Okay, I guess I can have them reach the bottom. I think it looks weirder when it's like not. Alright, something like that. Let's see. I don't go all crazy with that. Yeah, let me pull it back a little bit. I kind of like it around there. And I actually kind of thin this part out a little bit. Okay. Alright. So, for my millionth alright, I will be doing this cape area. So I did have these switched around. So let me switch them back. Alright, and then he had... Never realize how much you say it until you realize how many times you say it. I'm going to see if I can find one or two more examples of the back of his jacket. Mostly because I don't exactly know how many. So it looks like there's three. So it separates into three different sections. Thank you, action figure. So when I see from the action figure, it has one, two, three. So it kind of lets me know what to work with. I had a feeling I was looking at some of the other ones and they looked a little like short, like this one. And I wasn't sure if that was because of the perspective or if it actually was shorter, you know. But this definitely helps. And make him a little smaller on this one. Actually, what does it look like with him? Oops, not the whole thing, just that. Okay, it's not terrible. And same for this one. Kind of shift them to the direction. Oh yeah, that's just a little test one I did. And with that, let's see, go back to the sketch one. Okay. Knowing that it's 3 definitely helps me kind of place him out a little bit more. And kind of circle him a little bit like this. Kind of like that. Might have to kind of play around with this angle just a little bit. Of course, the middle one is the only one I don't really know what to do with. Definitely not mad at that. What happens if let me just test out one more little. I kind of like it going down and up. That could be one. No. Yeah, I'm feeling this one. Let's give this a try. We're at the hour 30-minute mark. God, it always takes me forever to ink everything. But I'm gonna throw down some ink. It's a small design, so I should be able to just really easily put up color. I don't want to create a tangent line. Okay. Don't know if it's my program or the pen, but it does that sometimes. It's this weird texture. And for some reason, all I gotta do is minimize, back up, bam, good, okay. should be it. I can, oops, kind of darken some of these. We'll see that later. All right, so I think the only thing I need to outline is actually just the mouth. That's the only little part where I think it might get lost once I add in all the color. So let me just add in this quick little outline here. But other than that, it should be good. So let's add some color. So I'm going to minimize everything. Make my folders. Technically speaking, I should be able to use this one, although it hasn't been working. Oh, it worked this time. Okay, cool, perfect. Awesome. And then go duplicate layer. I don't know if you will count this as cheating, but I've been kind of eye dropping the skin tone. I don't like how, there we go, that's much better. A little color to it. All right. I mean, that's like the only part of the skin that you act out in the ears. And then I am gonna do the gray hair for right now. I will go in and add the black portions later. For the coat, see, even I feel like that's too dark, but let's just see. You know what, I think the coat I'm gonna do in its own layer, because that's the only part I'm gonna brighten up afterwards if I need to. So let's do that. And he has even brighter in the middle area. I'm not going to use their yellow. I think I'm going to use this one just so I can really brighten it up. And then for the sword, which of course I erased the reference I had, let's see. It's going to do a really, really bright silver. And the shoes, I feel like the shoes have like a little brown to them. Am I crazy? Did I put that with the coat? Yeah, I'm going to put that with the coat. Okay. And I'm going to go for a little bit of a deep but bright red for the eyes. And then Add some white for the pupils. Get that mask. Is that white? That's not all the way white. White in the teeth. Okay. Now let's see. We're going to start with this hair. Actually, let's flatten everything first. So, not flatten everything, let's fill in all the empty spaces. So use the bucket tool. And we'll read that. Same as his clothes, his hair might get lost, but should be fine. As long as I keep the top part really bright gray, it should help. That gray came in handy. All right, actually, probably add a little bit more. There we go. And that one, just give it a little bit of depth. And then go here. Okay, that's all filled in. Oh, no gaps there. I lied, it wasn't filled in. Okay. So with that one, gotta double check. The blade has a little darker in the center area and then darker with these buttons. So let's brighten this one up. I'm gonna take that off and make sure all of it's covered. So you can really detail it. Okay. Okay. So that's all filled in. Oh, you have some. Oh, oops. Okay, that's what that was. Okay. Okay, weird. I'm not entirely sure why it started wigging out right there, but just move on forward. Alright. We got the blade, outfit, and everything. Okay, and let's see, for the hair. It's going to be a lot of black added in, but let's see if we can do a slightly lighter one. Okay, yeah, I guess it's going to be the black one. Alright. Let's fill that portion in. I gotta fix up some of these little spots there. That should be good. Okay, maybe erase. Alright. I want to shade him right. I don't want it to be too busy like this person or Wonders. So I think I'm just going to do just one flat shadow layer and that's it. Nothing crazy. Even if I do it with just, oops, let me lock it to him. Now I'll start erasing. install light. Okay. I don't want to, again, add too many shapes. I think that was my mistake with the other people. Got a little too crazy with the detail. Let's see what happens if I kind of go another color. I can do it kind of red. I don't know if I want to do it that red. There we go. Something like that. Let's do an overlay layer. I'll double check and see if it's too complicated. If it is, I will remove it. Do I need it? Okay. Ooh, that does look nice on the hair. It's doing that. It is doing a weird thing again. Getting too complicated again. All right. I think we're getting to, oh my god, that's like the millionth time I said all right. So I apologize for anyone who's been here for more than a few minutes and heard me say all right 20 million times today. We're getting towards the end. I'm trying to think if there's any character details I may have missed. I have the gloves. I have the mask. Does it need to be this? Yeah, why not? If I erase it all. Weird. Yeah, it does a little bit. Well, now that I've gotten used to that. Let's see, normal. Grab that color. And what happens if I add a little bit more all the way to the bottom? No, I'm kind of liking the first one I did. I feel like it's a little weird on this angle here, but as I'm erasing stuff, it kind of gets weirder. There's something about that angle that is right and wrong at the same time. Maybe like that. All right. So with that one, there was another all right. And with that one, I think it's just a little harsh. So what if this is the only one I kind of brighten up a little bit? Okay, I think that's a little better. That makes them. I know it kind of looks like bird ears, or a bird nose, which I know it kind of is. It's kind of like that hook nose, but I don't think it's meant to look too much like a hook nose. It almost makes it look like a beak, which is fine for this character, but not that one. But okay, I'm kind of liking this one. Let me grab this color just to be safe. See what happens when I extend it just a little bit. Okay, I think that's good. Now let's see, get rid of the references. Let's see my super secret, crazy way I ink the characters. I'm going to go with the brighter one, a little bit more of a warmer color. Although the blue doesn't look terrible. The blue definitely looks a little bit more realistic. So you put them next to the other one. How does it look? opacity? Like 30? Okay, at least this way I can kind of change it if I decide to do the blue one later. But alright. This is my super secret inking process. Merge. Duplicate. So I go to filter, blur, Gaussian blur. I believe I ended up doing 90 the other time. I think that gets me the, was that, no, let's do, was it 120 maybe? Do filter. I should have wrote this down, but essentially I do a Gaussian blur, it gets the outline. I kind of compare it to how much space is in between. There's even more. There's like, oh no, that's about right. That's about right. So what was it, 120? And then reverse. And kind of get rid of this layer. You don't really need that one. And then go white. And then what I'll do with this one is I'll get my pen, kind of fix up these little sections here that are meant to kind of stick out but don't. It usually happens on points or like edges. It kind of rounds them out a little too much. And sometimes you might want to go in and kind of fix these little areas here, just so they're not all crazy. There we go. And stuff like here might not be an error per se, but it just kind of matches the drawing a little bit more. But you're essentially going through the white areas and just kind of extending them out, so it kind of gives a better outline. There we go. Matching the shape a little bit. Alright, so now you have your white outline, then you're going to duplicate, go to the one underneath it, filter, blur, Gaussian blur. I think this one's the one I did, was it 60? I should have wrote it down, oh well. Same process, click on the outline, make sure you get these little middle areas here and there, do a little reverse shape, black this time, same thing, erase the Gaussian blur layer, and dump that black paint in. What is it? Why am I not? Oh, I did there. There we go. Like so. And then I can put it next to, okay, yeah, that's good. That's pretty close. And same as before, you might have to go in and fix up some of the lines here and there, but that's how I do a quick outline. And same as before, as you can see, it's a lot of the points or it kind of makes little mistakes, just go through and just fix them up. Ooh, my gosh. All right. I am a little worried about this little section here. This one I might actually go inside and erase. All right. Then I'll do the little effect thing that I did. Actually, let me test these. There we go. So I believe the one I did before, it was this one and this one. And I normally just kind of fill it in like that. But I was going to see what it looked like with really big kind of circles. That didn't work. How do I do some good dots? Do any of the other ones have any? I'm about to see all the downloadable ones that I have. No, that didn't look good. That didn't look good either. I like the shading of these ones, although if I'm being brutally honest, I've yet to find a time to use it. Okay, kind of like the big pattern one, but I don't really like the messy pattern it has. Okay. Huh, surprisingly, I like the small button ones, but okay. Actually, let's try one more. There is, where is it? It's not the gradient. It might be a tool that I actually download and throw in, which I think I have. Here we go. Is it here? No. Here we go. So if I wanted to do not these ones, dots, I want to find big ass dots. I genuinely don't know if I can cuss on here. Damn, no. 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 I wish I knew what the numbers meant. Okay, so let's just go 60. Okay. I saved this one for a reason. Can't tell. Is it fun seeing how indecisive this is going? It's art. A fun part of art. Well, pretty much I want to see what it looks like with a lot of small, just like dot, 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 without having to, you know, press the dot so much. I can just test it out like this. But I wonder if uniform dots would be good. But that's kind of the problem. I don't really know. If I'm not mistaken, I can add this, can add tones, and then the smaller they are, they kind of go like that. Only problem is I don't know how to exactly make them. See, I want it to be the opposite of this. Red colors on white dot. Oh no. What if I do the color option? Color. That did not work at all. Oh, I actually don't hate that color. Oh, there we go. After all that, right? Go make them even larger. No, still leaning on the other one. Okay, so that answers that. Testing everything out. All right, and then we got the two. Whew. That is it. It took about 2 hours to finish. That seems to be the going time for inking and coloring and doing all that with these guys. While I do like this color, I don't know how I feel about just all the warm color on warm color on warm color, just getting lost. Even the black doesn't look so great, but I will mess around with these. I kind of want to see what different backgrounds look on them, but as of now, I think these are good. Thank you for joining. If you were here, I want to think what I'm going to do. Not I think what I'm going to do. What's going to do is take a break. I know I went streaming the last like 2 days. I'm going to take a little break, kind of figure some things out. I want to figure out how to have music in the background while I'm drawing and just kind of plan out what I'm going to be drawing. But thank you for joining. I think right now I was able to get this one, Wonder, and Lufel done as my first 3. And that is it for the stream. All right, you guys have a good one. I believe I'll be back on Thursday, and then kind of start another Thursday into the weekend. All right, have a good one.